Hey guys, how you doing? Gavin Timms with REI Network. Welcome back for another podcast. Today it's just me doing a little bit of teaching here. Just had a team meeting this morning regarding follow-up, the importance of it. So I just wanted to talk on this because my business literally operates from follow-up. 90% of my deals, over 90% of my deals that I do in real estate comes from the follow-up, the flips that we've got going on in Birmingham, Alabama. And hey, check that out, by the way. Go and check out the YouTube. If you search for Alabama deals on my YouTube channel, there's going to be like a series, part 1, 2, 3. And where I went to Alabama, kind of went in the flips for the first time. You'll see the different stages and kind of what we're doing there. So make sure you go and check that out, okay, on my YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe while you're there. All right, but let's talk about follow-up. And it's something that maybe you don't want to hear. It's not exciting, right? But it's what makes the money. It's what makes you successful, okay? And actually run a profitable business, all right? So like we just said, 75 to 90% of the deals will come from the follow-up. Now, mine is over 90%. The reason I said 75%, because it depends on your marketing that you're doing. Are you doing reactive marketing, okay, or are you doing proactive marketing? Reactive meaning, are you waiting for the phone to ring? Are you doing direct mail, Facebook, PPC, or are you doing cold calling, texting, right, where you're reaching out to people? So there is definitely a difference between that quality of lead, and they come at different prices, right? The PPC game, a lot of people are going to be moving to because of text messaging. A lot of people are going to be going back into direct mail, but there comes a price for that. Obviously, my number one channel is cold calling, but it is where I put most of my efforts into. So that doesn't mean none of the other strategies work. It's just, remember, wherever you put your marketing efforts is the one that's going to produce the best amount of leads, quality leads, and all of them things, right? So consistency is an absolute must in this business, okay? Making sure that you're consistent. On average for us, it might take 6 to 12 touches per deal. Again, something that people don't want to hear. Stop trying to close a deal one phone call, unless again, you're doing the PPC. But if you're doing reaching out to people via cold call, it might take you 1 in 1,000 to do one phone call, wrap it up, make 20,000. Can it happen? Have we done it? Yes, we have. The reality is it's not going to happen all of the time, okay? And I believe, and I've said this in previous episodes, right, that there's $1 million sitting in my CRM right now, and I don't think it's any different for you, okay? Because when them leads are there, this is a process, right? This is a sequence of marketing for sellers. We're trying to solve problems, find out what the situation is, find out what the problem is, and solve it. Maybe that's through a cash offer, creative finance, depending on what you're doing. But then the sequence leads on to then talking to sellers, making offers, following up, until we get the deal under contract and into closing. Okay, so fundamentals will never actually change. You need to make sure that every business has that, and understand that no means not now. All right, no means not now. If they said no now, guess what? They're going to say yes later, maybe in 6 months, in 2 years, we don't know. But if we keep the follow-up consistent, that's when you're going to see, okay, this makes sense. So I have a lot of clients. We've just changed our program, okay, over the last probably now 6 weeks. It's been a game changer. We're going live 4 times a week. I'm doing calls 4 times a week, okay? And it's meeting, it's on Zoom, where you have your own windows, you can have cameras on, you can interact, and it's been fantastic. People doing 40 grand deals, 25 grand deals, people doing their first deal, people trying to set systems up so they don't have to do anything, right? Where the system does it for you. You've got people doing 4 or 5 deals a month. And it's been awesome to see that and actually build a community. So that's going really well. And again, it's being consistent. If I'm willing to show up, daily for them, then if they can then channel that into their business, they're going to get results. Okay. And if you're interested in working with me, go to reinetwork.com/join, reinetwork.com/join. Let's have a conversation, see if we're a good fit. But anyway, remember, the profit is in the follow-up. What do I mean by this? You're already spending the money on marketing. Okay. So you're already doing that. You've already spent the money. You've already hired the cold call. You've already skipped trace the list. You've already sent the direct mail. You're already paying for PPC, right? You've already done that. And then the leads come in. And guess what? You say, no, they didn't want to sell. No, they didn't want to sell. No, they didn't want to sell. Okay. And nothing happens. It needs to be no means not now. We've got them on follow-up. We've got the status ready. We've got a task set, and we're going to follow up until they say yes. Remember, back in, I think, 2018, 54 of my deals came from follow-up out of 58. That means 4 deals to 58 deals, guys. This is insane when I'm talking about the profit is in the follow-up, because you've already had the expense. One, and it just keeps hitting and building your profit line as you do this follow-up, okay? And there's 3 basic things. If you're techie or not, you got a CRM or not, whatever you're doing, there's 3 things that you need to be doing in this business, okay? Changing the status, making sure a task is set, and adding comments, taking good notes, right? Adding comments to the lead, especially for follow-up. So the statuses could be, it's a new lead, you're waiting for a response. You need to make an offer, you sent an offer. It might be a hot follow-up or a warm or a cold, okay? So divide things by the status, and then you need to create a task. And in that task, it's your next action that needs to happen, whether it's you or someone in your team. So it could be, hey, Charlie, the VA, I want you to do call the seller in 30 days to see if anything's changed from the conversation we just had, using these notes that are in the CRM. One of the most important things is the notes, and everyone doesn't want to do it. It makes no sense, because I'm telling you right now, if you want to run a profitable business, if you want to build rapport and move a lead down the channel, the notes are everything. So if the dog was sick, the child was ill, they were in the ER, they had whatever it was, the tire burst on the car and they were at the dealership, it doesn't matter, whatever it was, you need to know all that detail, because guess what? That's what you're going to lead into. Okay, it's about the person, not the property on follow-up, period. Where you're there to solve problems, so ask questions about them. Hey Jennifer, how you doing? This is Gavin. We spoke 30 days ago. Look, I know it was hectic last time we spoke. How's your daughter feeling now? Because I know you were kind of, she wasn't well. And then, oh yeah, she's doing much good. Thank you so much for asking. You've just gone up a level, guys. You've just raised that bar to a new level of building rapport. It's not about the property. That will come later in the conversation. But and guess what? If I'm not calling, this is why notes are important as well. And I get Charlie, the VA. Charlie says, hey, you spoke to Gavin a month ago. Nice to meet you. I just wanted to ask, how's your daughter doing? And they might be like, that's weird. How do you know that? Well, yeah, we take, I know I spoke to Gavin about it and he said your daughter wasn't well. So I wanted to give you some time. Is she doing better now? Again, building that rapport. Well, look, I know it was hectic then, but it's now a good time to discuss your property. We're still looking at buying in the area. Would you consider selling? And then move on to that as you go. Okay. So remember the 3 basic things that you need: change the status, update or create a task, and add and update the notes every time you speak to them. So we have notes over a year period. Every time we spoke to them, you'll see the conversation changing. You'll see that situation changing all of the time. Okay, so really, really important. Obviously, what kind of follow-up can you do? Phone calls, right? This will never be beaten. The phone call will never be beaten. All right, the personal touch will never be beaten. The personal voicemail. Okay, and if they don't answer, text them, send them a text. All right, leave them a voicemail on the 3rd go. We normally call 3 attempts. On the last time, we'll leave a voicemail. We'll send them a text. We'll check in. But it's about them. Hey, Mr. Seller, if you're calling, hey, Jennifer, how you doing? I was just thinking about you this weekend. Just wanted to follow up and see how you were feeling, because I know you've been, sick. Is there anything that I could do? Anything that you need help with right now? Again, it's about the person. Oh, no, thank you so much. I'm doing loads better now. And then you, again, lead into that conversation. You can send direct mail. Okay, you can be doing direct mail to your leads. Every month, send a direct mail postcard to the people that you've already made an offer on. Okay, you could do emails to them. You can do autoresponder emails if you're using a CRM. You can do RVM, which is a ringless voicemail. Now, RVM is you have to be very careful with the legality, but if you've already spoken to them and you've had permission and conversations, then an RVM I don't see a big problem with doing that. And obviously a good VA, right? I have a VA dedicated just to follow up, where they are doing like anything older than 3 months, they're calling, doing the personal touch, rewarming it up and bringing it back into acquisition. Okay, so that's some of the things that you could be doing with your follow-up. And then there's the sequencing. You've probably heard about, well, how often? This is the main question. How often should I follow up? And it's like, well, I don't know, right? I don't know, because it depends on the situation. And I will say this, so to try and give you some example of what I'm saying, let's say that you have you're new, you go into a brand new market, you've just started marketing, just follow up on every lead every 30 days to start with. Okay. And then obviously if it's a warm or hot lead, it needs to be the next day, the same day, within the week, or call Friday, whatever you set up. But anything that's just a normal, not interested right now, just put them on a 30-day if you're new to a market. Now that can change depending on how many leads you're bringing in, how experienced you are, and you can push them out further. Someone's like wanting 50 grand over, not really interested, nothing's really happening. Yes, I might do a 3-month follow-up on it, right? But if I have 10 leads in my CRM, or 100 leads or 200 leads, I want to be touching them every single month, okay? And I can scatter accordingly, okay? So that will change. There's also as well, everyone wants to talk about now, it's kind of the new thing, about automation, right? Workflows. How does a CRM do all the follow-up for me? And there's a time and a place for this. Right? I think it's great. I think it's a great tool. It's a great benefit, but you have to make sure that automation does not make you lazy. This is really, really important, because it will. Don't expect something just to do everything for you, because you will never, ever remove the personal touch. All right, so only put automation on to cold follow-up where they're not interested. Maybe you can set up a text message going every 30 days, an email every 45, another text on 60 days, another one on 75 days, 75 days, 90 days, so on. And then every so often put a personal call in there as well. And you can get the system and the workflows to do this. We use FreedomSoft, okay, to do that. Send me an email if you want my link. If you want to get it set up with the way that I have, you can email support at REINetwork.com. We can send you out a link. If you want to get under my account to get the documents that we use, then feel free to do so. Reach out and we'll give you that. Okay, so that's kind of the sequencing, but you just got to watch that you're not getting lazy, and you need to understand certain triggers are going to do things. Like people, when I work with my one-to-one clients, they say, hey, let's turn on the automation so it does it. But do you understand what the automation's doing? Do you understand that it's going to send a text in this day? You're going to do this, it's going to do that. Because if you don't, it's going to make you look silly, right? I just got off the phone with Bob. Bob, I'm about to send an offer, and all of a sudden I've not changed my status, and it sends out a text message, okay, when you've allowed it because you've not paid attention, and it says, hey, Bob, do you want to sell 123 Main Street? And you're like, hold on a minute. We just talked. We're already trying to get this contract signed. It just looks like you don't know what you're doing. So you just have to be careful that you understand it. And if you don't rely on it too much, then I'm all for it. But don't get lazy. That's the message. Okay. And these things that we've just talked about have to happen. It has to be consistent, right? Remember, the follow-up is going to make you successful. And the biggest thing is that I work with all of my clients is that, how do I get you out of this seat? How do I get you out of these day-to-day things? How do we put systems in place to remove you with other people to do it for you so you can work on the business, not in the business? That's my goal. How do I get you to work on the business, not in the business? And everyone that comes in and works with me, we're on a 6-month time frame to make that happen or create the goals that you want, okay? Some people are ready to go and do it now. Some people need the fundamentals first, and then we can start implementing systems. So everyone's at a different stage, but it's understanding what the goal is. You all listening to this like the idea of being a business owner, working on the business, not in it. Well, we have to put things in place. We have to have the right team, the right systems to be able to do that. And that's what I work on. I am not your guy that's going to get you in an office with 40 staff spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing. It's not me. I come from more of a lifestyle. How do I make a lot of money? How do I stay profitable? And how do I make it a win for everyone around me and build a strong team that's going to withstand moving forward? Not we're having a great month and then everything, we have a pandemic and I lose everything, I've got to fire everyone. It's just the way that my mind works and the goals that I have. And a lot of people, when I work with them, we all need to be aligned in the same thing. So if someone comes to me and wants to build an empire, okay, and build massive overhead and marketing and have a, you know, an office in Miami with 100 people in it, I am not the guy for the job because I'm far from them. I want lifestyle. How do I work on the business, not hit it? How do I do 4, 5, 6, 8 deals a month consistently? And I'm happy with that, right? How do I make, you know, $1 million a year gross and maybe pocket 400,000-500,000 myself just to be a business owner and let things work? It all depends on what you want, guys. All right. And that comes first, but it all happens through this follow-up sequence that to get you there, whether it's you or your team. All right. So hopefully this helps. Remember, make sure you like and subscribe if you watch it on YouTube. If you listen on the podcast, again, drop me a comment, give me a review. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one. All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.